And so basically, I love going to work every day. I really do, because it is my job to encourage everyone in our community, whether they're trans women, trans men, gender non-conforming, whatever their dreams are, they don't have to leave them behind. We can pick those up, put your experience, whatever experience you do have on their resume, and we can do some mock interviews. Speaking of which, I did a mock interview before I got this job with one of the first people on this list, Miss Janet Mock. You know, and I told him I have to have this list. If she's on the list, I have to have the list that's going to read her name. Because she's been such an inspiration to me, and I love the fact that she's opening the door for all of us to tell our stories, for girls like us to communicate with one another and to support one another, right? Right? And so I thank you very much, Janet, for doing that mock interview for the night before my final interview, which landed me the job. Thank you very much. I love you. Thank you. And so, without further ado, I'd like to read the other amazing names on this list. So starting with Miss Janet Mock from New York City. She is a writer, a theorist, and an activist. She's got a book coming out later called Fish Food, and I'm going to be the first one to grab it, yes. And we also have Jen Burleton in Portland, Oregon, an advocate on behalf of trans youth. Yes, go ahead, yes. We have Jenny Boylan. I know a lot of us know Jenny Boylan. She's also an author and activist. We have Jessica Danforth, or known as Yee. And from the Oneida Reservation in Wisconsin, she's the founder and executive director of the Native Youth Sexual Health Network. Yeah. That was a mouthful. Also, Justice Icefield in New York City, New York. She's the co-director and co-founder of GATE, the Global Action for Transgender Equality. Yeah. We also have Kate Borenstein from New York City. Kate is also a performing artist and an author. My bell keeps falling down. This is the smallest sign they had. Sometimes I'm a little shady, but okay, that's good. We also have Kate Zosin on the list from Chicago. Kate is a reporter for the Windy City Times. We also have Catherine Cross from Bronx, New York. She is the president of the Hunter College Women's Rights. Give her a round of applause. She likes her happy. Please, let's show her love. Yes. We also have, I didn't even finish all that. There was so much more to that. Catherine Cross from Bronx, New York. She's the president of the Hunter College Women's Rights Coalition and a core collective member of the Sylvia Rivera Law Project. Yes. We also have Katie Burgess from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yes. Who is the youth counselor at Avenue Shelter for Homeless Youth. And I actually got to know Katie when she was pioneering and raising noise for CeCe McDonald, who was behind bars. So thank you, Katie Burgess, for the work you've been doing. And last but not least on my list is Katie Stewart from Texas. She is the executive director at Transgender Education Network of Texas. Yes. One more round of applause for everybody on this list. I just wanted another entrance. No, so next I'm going to bring to the stage who Shannon mentioned before she was writing his last name behind hers. I'd like to bring to the stage Dr. Kortney Ryan Ziegler.
I just wanted to start off by everybody giving themselves a beautiful, amazing round of applause. fast because I'm just like all the electricity and the energy and the inspiration that is surrounding me right now. I'm just in awe and so humbled. I'm excited to be here. And when Jen sent me an email asking me to give some remarks, I think I ran around my living room throwing up my hands with excitement because no, seriously, because Chicago has a very special place in my heart. I have. You probably can't see it, but I have the Chicago Star tattooed on my leg. I love Chicago. I have the Hancock Tower tattooed on my left arm. Chicago is seriously. Chicago has meant so much to me in my life because this is the city where I guess my transgender advocacy began. I moved here to do a PhD at Northwestern, and when I did begin at Northwestern, I started a blog, which Shannon mentioned, Black Academic. Being here and suffering through many a cold winter in my apartment writing, I really used the time that I was at Northwestern and what I learned and shaping myself as a scholar. And I realized that the power of words to bring humanity to our community is so important. And I'm so grateful to have been here in these cold winters because I've honed my writing skills. And now Black Academic has gone on to win um, numerous awards. And right now we're nominated. This is me. I'm nominated for. I could use an assistant though. Nominated for a Glad Media Award, which is, I think it's so important and powerful. Because my goal is to definitely present an image of an intellectual, a scholar, a person of intelligence, because I want our community to be revered in that way. And I think that we have multiple people doing multiple things, but for me, it's important to be presented as someone who uses the power of I guess, knowledge production to really bring humanity to our community and notoriety. Yeah. So, yeah, we can talk about that. Chicago also means a lot to me because this was the city that I wrote and directed, Still Black, a portrait of Black trans men. It was during a time when I was completing my doctoral studies, and there were tons of movies coming out and tons of representation coming out about trans people, and I was like, where are what people of color? And when we were there, we would be a token person, talking about race. And that was all we talked about, right? And so I was like, there has to be another narrative out there. There has to be another representation, and specifically a narrative that includes the lives of Black men who, barely get anything, any type of humanity given to them outside of, being athletes. So, or the president. So it was really a moment in my life where I wanted to see us on the screen and see our stories told, and so I put in the work. And again, cold winter in Chicago really allowed me to find the time and energy and community to help me bring Still Black to fruition. And I'm really grateful for being in Chicago because in the moment I was living here, Barack Obama was running for his first term as president. And that inspired me. I was like, wow, I can, he can be president. I mean, I can also do something make a representation for Black men. And so I took it on, and I met so many amazing men in Chicago who inspired me to live my life authentically and the ways that I want to. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm also grateful for Chicago. It's my last grateful for Chicago thing, is that this is the city where I decided to begin my transition. It was not Black academic, it was not Still Black, but it was actually spending many hours on the internet doing research. I was really questioning myself, is this something that I want to do? Um, and even though I had completed Still Black, at the time I identified as genderqueer, and that identity did not work for me. No offense if anybody identifies as that, but for me, it wasn't. It didn't make sense for me to identify as that. And so I started doing tons of research and looking online, and I came across YouTube. Oh my God, YouTube continues to blow my mind. I discovered men who were younger than me, older than me, who spoke different languages than myself. You know, putting themselves on YouTube and telling their stories. And I was like, wow, there's hope for me to be happy. There's hope for me to be healthy. There's hope for me to be loved. There's a good relationship. And so I'm really grateful. Yeah, exactly. So I'm really grateful again for Chicago, just all of the energy and all my time here because in this city is where I began to be like, fuck yeah, trans rights. So and now here I stand on the stage at the inaugural Trans 100 event. And again, I'm so humbled and overwhelmed with energy and joy to hear names that I've known, names that I've never heard of before, names that I'm going to go home and do research on, names that I hope to write about, names of people that I hope to meet and have dinner with or drink, like it's just like so amazing that we're in this room and we're as trans and gender non-conforming people of color and white people and all kinds of people together in this room honoring ourselves. Like how amazing and empowering and powerful is that? And I want us to walk away after this event still high on the energy of meeting people that we admire and take these names and use them as inspiration in your lives. And whether or not you're an activist in the trenches or whether you just write for yourself or whether you just live, like I really want us to continue to do the work so that every year we can, add names to the list. Every year we can increase our advocacy. Every year we can make it better for people to live happy, healthy lives. And so I really want us to go out and do that after this event and have fun and celebrate. So thank you for having me.